So we've had a number of questions regarding using the BeatBox with third-party DAWs. Right now we're using Ableton. Ableton is obviously a very capable and modular piece of software, so there's really no right way of using Ableton with the BeatBox. However, this is kind of what we do in the office and as well as trade shows for demoing the capability of the BeatBox. The mapping and the project structure that we're using here is specifically for live set performing, so your mileage may vary. So to have the BeatBox control Ableton, you want to go into Options, Preferences, go to Link MIDI. You'll see the BeatBox showing up in the MIDI ports section. You want to make sure that Input BeatBox has both track and remote turned on. This will allow you to actually utilize all of the onboard controls. If you want to use the BeatBox speakers, you'll have to go into Audio. Under Audio Output Device, pick Speakers BeatBox Audio. You can also use the onboard input on the BeatBox by selecting BeatBox Audio in the microphone sections. In order to use MIDI controls with Ableton, you want to go into Mode 2 on the BeatBox. And while you can't really see it in this solid case, Mode 2 is when this little amber light comes on. I don't know if you can see that on the BeatBox. To go into Mode 2, you want to hit Shift, then the joystick push-down button. The difference between Mode 1 and Mode 2 is that Mode 1 is made exclusively for our app. The pads only give out one MIDI range, and the knobs behave a little differently just so our app can simulate a 360-degree knob, but it's really not for controlling a third-party DAW. When you have the box in Mode 2, you can shift around the MIDI ranges of these buttons to give you a wider control range, and the knobs behave like normal potentiometers on a MIDI device. And let me kind of show you what I mean, right? So right now I have a project loaded with samples from Beats by Jay Black's finger drumming tutorial video series that he's just starting to put out on YouTube. So definitely check those out. It's very, very helpful, and also you get some pretty good samples that he's putting out for free. But yeah, let's start with a track. Being able to control multiple MIDI ranges at once enables you to perform multiple songs in one set. So for example, here in this drum rack, I have 3 songs loaded. I was controlling this range right here. But now if I do Shift and one of these buttons, I get to shift my entire MIDI range. So let's go to the second range, and I should be able to control these sounds. This way you can make a continuous performance of multiple songs. So let's go back to this song. And let's perform a different song right after it. Now let me show you how to actually map the knobs to functions in Ableton. So I have a effect rack that's supposed to mimic a SP404 loaded to my master channel. Go into MIDI, click one of the functions and turn the knob to map the knob. So let's have this loop off and on to this first knob. Let's have this length to the second knob, freeze reverb to the third knob, and isolator off and on to the fourth knob. And we should be able to control these effects with the knobs on board. So let's have a different track going. You have access to 4 more MIDI controls if you hold down Shift while turning the knob. So let's map those to other effects as well. Let's have Vinyl Sim on Shift 1. Let's have filter drive on Shift 2. Lo-fi on Shift 3. Tape effect on Shift 4. Each of these knobs also have a push down button built in, so you can use that to maybe turn on and off an effect. So let's have this reverb effect mapped to this push down button. There we go. Okay, so now let's see what this looks like in the real performance setting. So another thing that we like to do is mapping the ARM recording button to different buttons on the beatbox. That way you get to control different tracks in one file, which enables you to play even more tracks. So let's have this second drum rack mapped to this button and the first one mapped to this button. So now you can freely switch between the two sets. So basically at the end of the last track that we performed, we'll be able to switch the track that we're controlling and have another song ready to go. So yeah, anyways, that's all we have for today. If you have any questions on using the BeatBox with any other third-party DAW of your choice, please let us know, and we'll see if we can make a tutorial about it.